Hey everyone, we're now going to take a look at the homework for Excel Chapter 4, or take a look at an example that closely resembles, it's not quite one-to-one, but I'm just going to go over a lot of the stuff that you'll be doing in this homework. The focus of this chapter is turning a regular spreadsheet or a range into a table. When you convert to a table, there's a few other things you can do with it. Works a little bit differently than a normal spreadsheet. I'll let you read that in the book, what the difference is, but we'll look and see what that sort of looks like visually right here. Keep in mind, a lot of this stuff is going to carry over to the next chapter as well when we do pivot tables. Pivot tables are a type of table that's a little bit more, we can work with it a little bit more, but it's also a little bit more complicated. You'll see when you get there. But so now I'm just kind of going, down the instructions here and doing stuff that's similar to stuff that you guys will have to do. First thing we're going to be doing is freeze panes. Freeze panes wait, actually, first thing we need to do, oh yeah, we do that before we make a table. Freeze panes, right here, we're going to freeze the top row. This is really helpful, if you have a larger spreadsheet, goes down the page, and especially if you've got like a lot of numbers and it's kind of easy to get, oh, like this is pretty clearly year and sticker price, but maybe you had like year 1, year 2, year 3. You go, oh, which one of these am I really looking at? Freezing the top row, you get to, you'll have your headers there anytime as you scroll down the page. Okay, now we're going to turn this, select. There's a number of ways you can select the data, but here I'm just going to select it all as one. And we're going to turn this thing into a table. When you're turning data into a table, you want to make sure if you have headers that you click your table has headers, because you want it to be included in the table, but you don't want it to be part of the table. You want them to be separate. You want to have headers, and then you want to have your data below it, and this will separate that. Because you can see here, this is where you're able to sort and filter things, filter your variables, and you want to make sure that you can do that, and make sure, because if you didn't put that your data has headers, then your first entry is just, instead of 5017, it's order number, which is totally wrong. Okay, what else are we doing here? Remove duplicate records. It's in data, I believe. I don't have any duplicate records here because I've changed the data up, but there it is, remove duplicates. Keep in mind too that just like with charts, with this element that is on the screen, you have to click on it to get the table design tools, or the table tools in the design tab. If you click off, it goes away. You can make sure that, if you're reading your instructions and you're like, I can't find this, where is this? Make sure you've got the table selected so you can get to the design tools. Okay, now we're going to do some sorting. You can do this a number of ways, but I just like using the old sort tab right here. And then, right now I have it sorted by order. That's how I sort of defaulted. But let's say that we wanted to first go in here and sort by make. We'll do that. And hey, here's all of our Apple products, right? A starts alphabetical. But with the sort tab there, you can also add levels, and it's hierarchical. So first it'll sort by make, then by blah blah blah. I didn't do any variables or any different models, so let's just do year instead. Smallest to largest, and so now we can see what we have is we have all of our Apple phones. They're all iPhone 11s, but we see which year they are. Of course, that doesn't match up, but this is an example again. So first it would sort alphabetically by make, then by year, and you can just kind of sort those however you'd like. So that's that. Let's look at this now. We've got, it looks like they want third level, but you can just add another level. Repeat the field names on all pages. This is going to go through printing, and where is it? This is one of those things that, like, oh boy, I hadn't thought about this, and now I have to do it. I think it's in print area. So nope, hang on a second. Pause this and look it up. Okay, I have found it. My advice to all of you is to don't get old, because then you start to get forgetful. So what we'll do here is we want to go into our page setup. There's normal number of ways to get here, but we go to page setup and go to sheet. Here's our print area, which I've just set. Rows to repeat at the top, and that would be your title row. You go to the print preview, and you can see that, that first row is there on each page. That's what we're looking for. Let's go back there. Okay. scroll back up to the top. What else do we need to be doing here? Change the page breaks. There's a number of ways to do this. So you can go in here, you can insert page breaks and remove page breaks here. What you're going to want to be doing in the homework is you're going to want to select. So it's basically saying a page break is where one page stops, the next one begins, and it says it once for each model of car. Here we're going to do it for phones. Is just you would select where you want the break to be the next one up. Insert a page break, and you can go to the print preview. There's a lot of places you can get to a print preview. I'll go in here, and so we had Apple on one page, and then the rest of them. And if we went through and put a page break at each of these, you'd end up with like 4 or 5 pages, and that's what you want. You want to break on each of those at each of those spots. Okay, let's see what else we got here. We can do a footer. Again, I'm gonna let you guys do the footers. Full disclosure, I hate doing footers. Okay, and that's pretty much the first part of the problem, is just making a table, doing some sorting, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I'm going to pause it and then move on. Check out what I'm doing for the second part. Oh, one more thing before I go on to the next one. Here are your table styles if you need those, because you will need to change the design. I'll just pick a random one. The book tells you which one you need. Also, if it asks for anything like banded rows, and these just really change all it really does is change the visualization of it. Also, we have a header row. If you're ever asked for, you may be asked in this problem, but it also might be in a future problem. If it says total row, a lot of students will say maybe that they will just add a row here and put total, but that's not what they want. If you're working with a table, what it wants you to do is actually insert a total row from the design tab, and then it will put in your totals right here. And then you can, in each of these, what is our average price? First, it sets it up as a sum, but hey, if you want to look at the average price of all these phones, hey, it's about $1,300. Just make sure that you use this total row tab, which we'll go over and click it off if the directions ask for it, and don't just put one in for yourself. Okay, so let's see the next part. We have sales information here. Okay, let's look up what we're doing. Okay, so the next part of the homework has you, again, make a table. Here I've already gone ahead and selected the data, and I'm going to make a table. And again, we want to make sure we have our table having headers. Okay, looks now like we're going to do like a percentage of stickers. So basically, what we're looking at for the homework is like, hey, how much of our asking price did we get for a car? Here I've set it up for a phone. So we'll do the same thing, and I'm not going to do it quite all the way. I'm just going to call this percentage sticker right there, and see, once you put that, entered that, it adds it to the table because it's aligned with it. If we put it in an F, it would not, but because it was next to the table, it just adds it to the table. And then it wants you to do structured references. This is a feature of tables that you can't do with you'd have to do manually for each cell with the regular spreadsheet. Here you can do it just by clicking the title. So let's see, so we're going to have the sale price, the sale price divided by sticker price, and we will get an answer. It's not set up as a percentage, but we can do that really easily. There we go. And now we see what our percentages are. And so we can see like, hey, we didn't, this one we didn't sell for, we didn't get much, we didn't get what we wanted. Here we did get sticker price, and on and down. So you see, what percentage of that you got. Let's take a look and see what else we're doing here. Oh, here there is a total row about the average of percentage of sticker and some. So, if we, again, you click in here, design, put in that total row, and I think it was, so if we're going to get the average, you see, hey, we get about 83%. I honestly don't remember if I changed these numbers too much from the homework. That might be what you're looking for. But again, that's where you get the total row. And now we're going to move on to a little bit later. So you're going to be doing some conditional formatting. I'm not going to give too much away because it is good to kind of learn how that works yourself. It's right here. It's in conditional formatting. You're looking for some data bars. There are the data bars. You can find those. And I'll say one of the most difficult commands in this class is number 16 for this homework. And you're filling it in. You're going to use a formula to fill yellow and bold to do this. Here's a hint. And I'm going to take this tab. And this is one of those, let me know if you have trouble with it. But here's a hint. You can go in, right, conditional formatting, and manage rules. We don't have any rules on this one. But in this, I haven't done anything to this, because this is just you filtering here in the third part of the homework, and it's very straightforward. But what I will say is, this cell right here, we go to the conditional formatting and manage the rules. Might be a formula you're looking for. Hint, hint. So if you can't get it to work, just give me a holler and we can talk through it. But it's right here on this other tab. Okay, and is that about it? That is about it. You know, if you want to go in here and, you know, I don't know if there's any more sorting. You'll be filtering in the third one. Filtering is very easy. You just click on here and like, hey, actually, let's just filter. I only want phones that are these three numbers, and that'll filter them out for you. That's kind of about it. You'll be doing more footers. Just kind of looking through here. I think I've covered the high points. Again, if there's anything that you run into that it doesn't seem to work or whatever, let me know. But that's kind of it. Tables are really powerful. You know, you can do a lot with them, and it really keep a lot of this stuff in mind as we go into pivot tables next chapter, because pivot tables are a very powerful tool, and it's one of those things that's like, if you can do pivot tables well and sort of explain them to people, it's really good skill to have. It's kind of one of those things you can slap on a resume that is somewhat impressive. That you when talking about Excel, you don't just say, hey, I've got Excel skills. You can say, I have Excel skills, including, and now you've done VLOOKUP, and now you say I've done pivot tables, like things like that. So you can be a little bit more clear about the level of what's the word? Competency, the level of competency that you have in Excel. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna quit rambling now. You guys enjoy your homework. Talk to you later. Bye.